Hi Torben! I'm going international. And hello world! My name is Morten, but that's not very international. So, let's say you can call me not John. That's very international. And that's me. I am not John. And welcome to my channel. Hi! I'm not John! I'm the thorn in Torben Søndergaard's eye. I am the nightmare of truth. Well, me and the Danish media. Well, mostly the Danish media. But Torben, I know you watch my videos, you cheeky monkey. And how do I know that? Because you made a huge mistake. Let's see what that was, shall we?
That suddenly is on the news and everyone is talking about it. But then they found a picture later where they, from the picture, recognized somebody from some of my videos who was on our school, and then they make a big thing out of it, like, hey, Torben, he said he knew nothing about it, but it's people from his school. How many times have you been at the hospital in Aalborg to pray for sick people?
A lot.
And then they put it up like I was sending people out with one goal, to go to those people at the hospital.
Oh, Torby boy, you foolish brick. I was the only one who compared your cult members to the ones we saw in the Danish news. I was the one. I am the one. I'm the one you made a parody of. And that's not how I sound. At all. And I don't know why I'm trying to make an English accent. I must warn you, this channel is going to be a buttload of bad English, because Torben is going to speak English just like this, and it's like I can speak English, but I'm not very much trying at all, and you know what I'm saying, but it sounds like bullshit and very bad. And if it sounds very bad, you don't very much want to hear it, I think. So, because of that, I'm trying to do what everybody should and actually pronounce everything properly. And that's going to be a bitch, but I'm going to try my best. Anyways, people all around the world, like 5 people, have asked me, not John, please make some exposing videos about Torben Søndergaard in English. Because I've made some rather incredible videos in Danish exposing Torben Søndergaard, and they were funny, they were amazing, and most of all, they were true. Now, I am from Denmark, just like Torben Søndergaard, and he has now fled the country. He's out. He's closed the last reformation in Denmark and has run like a bitch out of the country because of the persecution, like he said. Now, I feel partly responsible for this because I've made some exposed videos, like I've said 4 times. He has no plans. He's not thriving at all in Denmark. Now he is the world's problem again, and he is not just contained in little Denmark. So, yes, kind world, I will expose Torben Søndergaard. This time for the world to see. This time for everyone to understand, hopefully. I'm going to prove to you that Torben Søndergaard has absolutely no qualifications to do what he does. He has no understanding of the consequences of his actions. He is oblivious to what he's doing. But not Johnny, what makes you qualified to tell us all about this? What have you been doing with your life? Why can you tell us why he's not qualified? Well, kind world, I am a professional hypnotist, hypnotherapist and show hypnotist. And why is that relevant? Well, Torben Søndergaard is using hypnosis techniques and he's doing it very, very badly. Let me tell you a little story about how Torben Søndergaard got my attention. I was sitting on the couch. My girlfriend said to me, well, in a second, I'm going to put on the documentary God's Best Children. And I knew what it was about, so I said, please don't do that. Nonetheless, she put the documentary on, and Torben Søndergaard, he got my attention from the get-go. I saw a little boy and his pants were down around his ankles and he was crying, had wet himself. But Torben Søndergaard was very quick to make a response video saying, no, it's completely taken out of context. What really happened was that this boy was actually a boy with autism, and that's why he was crying, because he was just going to wanna take a swim with the otters, not a otter, but the other kids or the otter in the swimming basin, and sadly he could not swim, and that was why he was crying. And Torben Søndergaard really think that saying, no, the kid has autism, somehow makes it better. And I am confused and angry that he thinks that. Torben clearly have no concept of autism. A normal boy would say, oh mama, I wanna swim, please, and then cry. But a boy with severe autism would not. That's not how their brain works. But you don't know that, Torben. When I saw the documentary, I saw a man using hypnosis techniques without knowing what the heck he was doing. But when you are a pro like me, and you see the power of suggestion being portrayed as the power of God, then you, my friend, would get pissed and say, what the funk is going on? If you're not aware, the power of suggestion is basically a suggestion with a built-in command that stimulates your fantasy, your fantasy, your imagination. Fuck. Imagination is called fantasi in Danish, so it's not totally wrong. The power of suggestion is basically a suggestion with a built-in command that changes your habits, thought patterns, your behaviors, and your experience of the reality. And that is exactly what Torben is doing. He's not knowingly, but that is what he is doing. He's not removing any demons. He's not healing anyone. And what makes it all worse is that Torben is using hypnosis techniques like a 5-year-old would use a chainsaw. Well, maybe he's lucky to hit some branches on the bush, but most of all, he's a shitload of danger to his surroundings. And the people he comes in contact with is fucked. A suggestion can be a lot of things. It can be physical, verbal, the environment. It can be your surroundings, people around you, their reactions, body language, a lot of things. You can give suggestions without even knowing it. Let me explain. Imagine a mother seeing a spider on the floor and freaking the freak out and saying, oh my god, it's a spider, get it away, it's horrible, it's awful, oh, it's... The kid sees this reaction and subconsciously just clicks that now it's learned this is the normal, the proper reaction to a spider. And even when they grow up and learn, well, in Denmark the spiders isn't actually dangerous, they still feel the same horror, the same feeling, the same screaming, the same panic from their mother from when they were a child. Now imagine that the same child gets told that the reason that they act out or are gay or strange or have a handicap or has autism, that's actually because they have demons inside of them. Now, what do you think that does to a child's mind, Torben? And then you drag the kid to a cult meeting with up to thousands of people dressed in white, talking about demons and demon possessions, and you see adults speaking in tongues, and you see screaming kids or screaming adults as they get demon possessed or demon relieved. Someone is doing something to them, and you know in a minute, because you have autism or a handicap or something, in a minute it's your turn to get in the cold water, and some two strong guys is going to hold you tightly as some holy freak is screaming in bad English into your face, "Demon, come out! Demon, come out! Come out now you come out! Can you come out now? Come out, you demon! Come out now, demon!" Torben Søndergaard is hypnotizing people, but he is obviously uneducated. He's bad. He's clumsy, ignorant. He doesn't know where the line is. He doesn't know what he can and can't do with whom. He is nauseatingly aggressive, over the line. He steps over any and all kinds of ethic and moral. Moral. Damn you, Danish accent. Torben has no idea of what he's doing. He just screams the same shit into sick people or vulnerable people. Or vulnerable people. Or hopeful people. Torben is leaving behind a trail of damaged people in psychosis or worse. When people believe in Torben and they imagine how they will react to the demon witchcraft, that's already a suggestion. When they get told that it will feel like God is touching them in the heart, in the soul, then they imagine that. Then they begin to feel that. If they feel anything, they can interpret it like God's touch. And that, my friend, is what hypnosis is.
Torby boy, this is God. The big guy upstairs.
Torben Søndergaard is hearing voices. As he said in the documentary, "Well, one night God told me, well, now you have to move to Aalborg." And then I was like, "What? Move to Aalborg?" And he was like, "Yes, move to Aalborg." And then I was sitting over to the computer and I turned the laptop and I was searching on places to be in Aalborg. Something like that, I'm paraphrasing. So we can quickly agree that he is bonkers. Let's just assume for a minute that Torben actually believes that the voice he hears in his head is God. And let's just assume that the voice is saying stuff like, "Turn on the computer," or "Move to Aalborg," or "Hey, quickly move out of the country before the cops come knocking on the door." Move, let's say, to the United States where the healthcare is not as good and the desperation is bigger. Let's move to there. And that's God's will. And that's why Torben has now fled out of the country without any plans. Yes, God told him to do it, even if he believed that his terrible hypnosis is God. It just doesn't change the fact of what he is doing. He's convincing deadly ill, desperate, lonely, hopeful people, handicapped people, people with autistic kids. He is luring them in with hope, with promise about anything can be changed. "Oh, you lost an arm? Why don't you just regrow an arm?" I don't know if he said that, but he hath said, "God works in mysterious ways, and if I heal your foot, you begin to walk on it, and it gets amputated, well, that's God's will. God works in mysterious ways. You still got healed, man. Let's not talk about it anymore." He's convincing deadly ill people that they don't need their medication, that they don't need anything else but God. He admits in the documentary that he's going after sick people, lonely people, desperate people, with no hope, who's so desperate that they would like to die for God. And they might, if they follow Torben's advice with no medication and stuff like that. I'm telling you what I see from a professional standpoint. And what I see is an uncontrolled mass hypnosis. People dressed in white, chanting, saying the same words over and over and over again. And seeing other people get demon expelled from their flesh wrapper the body. And that's a suggestion to how you would react when you get demon expelled from your body, or the demon possession gets fixed. That's still a suggestion to how you will react. And when you get up to Torben, and Torben is starting his very bad English and saying, okay, are you ready? And you like to get this demon rid of this? Then you're very suggestible. And you actually, most likely, will do what Torben tells you to. That's how suggestions can work. It's exactly like when I or any show hypnotist does a show. Even before the show, you have 10 chairs on the stage. And that's a suggestion to the audience that in a moment, 10 people is going to sit on the stage, being hypnotized. And you, as the audience, begin to imagine, oh, what if it's me? How will I react? And that's already a suggestion. Or when I get the volunteers to eat raw onion and think it's apples, because I change their perception of reality. Shortly, but with a professional hypnotist, you know that your reality is going back to normal when the show is over. But not with Torben. Torben's show is the same every day. The same perception of reality, the same suggestions, again, over and over and over. Until that is the only truth and reality that you know. That's why Torben and any cult leader don't want their cult members to talk to the family that isn't in the cult. Because they can bring you out of the trance. They can get you out of your perception of reality and get you back to reality. Torben Søndergaard is a fake messiah. A man who didn't even finish his education as a baker. He has no medical experience or knowledge. He has no understanding of the consequences. He doesn't know what he's doing. And it's pissing me off to see a man claiming that it's God's work when it's actually science. Hypnosis is a boring scientific fact. Some areas in the brain gets more active and some gets less active. Inactive. More inactive. It's not magic. It's not God. And if Torben is using science but believes that it's God, well, then I do understand why he has as much understanding about hypnosis as a 3-year-old has about quantum physics. Now that is exactly what is happening and what he is doing. It's important to understand. I'm from Denmark. That means that we are 5-point-something million people, maybe near 6 million people in the whole country. It's like a small town or small state in the big US. But I have already talked to several of his victims, several Danish people who has been damaged by him. Torben is no man of God. When he's able to lie to a mentally disabled girl and promise her to be normal and become free from any disabilities, and when he fails and gives her a psychosis, then he just scares the shit out of her so she won't tell. And then he just leaves her, closes the door behind her. And then she walks around screaming until the police comes. And yeah, the rest is history. Well, I actually met this girl I'm talking about. And I explained to her, like I'm explaining now, what he's done. And why it's not her fault. How it's never been any demons. And how even if we are built differently, we are just as much worth as each other. And the Christian hate I have received on my Danish channel, on the exposing Torben videos, it is hilarious but astounding. I have a lot more to cover about Torby Boy, the fake messiah, the not even baker dude. Remember to send this video around the world. so everybody can know about creeps like Torben and what they actually does. Because it's not only Torben, but most of all cult leaders doing this. I want Torben to have an even harder time hurting anybody else. And for that, this video needs to get far out on the interwebs. Maybe this video can help or save just one person before they go into the claws of the Torbens of the world. And remember, I'm not trying to stir up hate against Torben Søndergaard. Not at all. I will, however, warn anybody who's willing to listen. Before we end, it's important for me to say that I'm not trying to take away anybody's religion. Just because I don't believe in it personally, it's not like I'm shitting on your beliefs. Not at all. You can believe whatever you like. You can believe that Santa and the Tooth Fairy is making all the elves by fornicating. I don't know. You can believe anything. But what you do with that belief can be anybody's concern. Especially if you use my profession to your religion. Thank you for your time and attention. And for this time, my name is not John, but you can call me whatever you feel like.
Hi! I'm not John!